He tells the guy, or just tells it, that he construes that the person, when he made the neder, because of certain facts he didn't know about when B'Shas made the neder, therefore the neder was never a neder. In other words, he uproots the neder retroactively. Right? That means there was never a neder. That's called matir. He undoes the neder. How does he do that? So the Gemara explains whether both things are one thing, but either he finds a petach, an opening, which means, let's say a man made a neder, is never going to eat chocolate. Okay? Now, if it transpires afterwards that this person needs to eat chocolate for health reasons, whatever it may be, and that fact, which this chocolate is healthy for him, was a known fact, B'Shas he made the neder, except this guy didn't know about it. It was a known fact. It wasn't something which science discovered afterwards, right? So it was a known fact, but this person didn't know about it. So the Chacham tells him, he says, tell me, Mr. So-and-so, if you had known that chocolate was good for your health condition, would you have made a neder to say, you're forbidden to eat chocolate? He says, no way I would have made nothing, because I know I need to eat chocolate now in order to have this positive effect of chocolate that's going to be have this healing effect on me, whatever it may be. Just saying hypothetical. But anyway, if you had known that chocolate was good for you, would you have made the neder? He says, no way. So then the Chacham saying, so when you made the neder, you didn't realize that really you said chocolate you made the neder not eat chocolate because you thought it was bad for you, or you thought it was unhealthy for you. But if you known it had been healthy, you wouldn't have made the neder. So then the Chacham's really saying, when you made the neder, you weren't really of total sound mind, right? You were sound, obviously, it was mentally okay, but you were not fully aware of the facts. Therefore, that's why you made the neder. But had you known the full facts, you would never have made the neder. Therefore, your neder is not a neder. That's the Chacham. That's a pesach. There's another form of where Chacham is charata, which is okay. Regret means, which is also similar. Okay, let's stick with the first thing for the moment, the pesach, because charata, how to explain it, charata is a very fine point. So we'll read that for the moment. But I call upon him. Let's listen. Basically, the Chacham analyzes. He interrogates, cross-examines the person who made the neder, and he says to him, well, the reason when you made the neder, were you fully aware of the fact? And if he discovers he wasn't fully aware of the fact, and therefore Chacham has an opening to say that the neder was not made with a full awareness of the facts, so therefore Chacham says, okay, you weren't fully aware of the facts, therefore we can undo you, we can dissolve your neder. And you say your neder was never made really with the full knowledge of the facts, and therefore your neder was never a neder. That is how Chacham is matter, and it can go across the board, whether it be a 90-year-old man, or 13, or even a 12-year-old boy, or 11-year-old girl. By the way, people not aware of the fact that if a 12-year-old boy or 11-year-old girl makes a neder, their neder is valid. In most cases, unless they show that they lack particular intelligence. But a boy who shows he has regular intelligence for his, and he says, I make a neder, I'm not going to eat chocolate. So he is not allowed to eat chocolate. In the first year, till he's 13 years old, it's only a drabanan, but after 13 years old, he's midaraisa forbidden to eat chocolate. Even though he actually uttered the neder when he wasn't 13, but in the year up to being 13, in other words, the year before 13 for a boy, the year before 12 for a girl, the nedarim are valid. It means they have enough intelligence to how to fix that what they say is considered a valid neder.
Like a lawyer.
Huh?
Get out of that. Like a mishpat of a lawyer. What's the job he does?
Yeah, so that's the same thing. The Chacham is also doing a similar kind of thing. Correct. Okay. Now, Pasuk Dalet starts with what's with women. Okay, Matt, please read. Isha,
Isha ki tidor neder lahashem
Hashem,
v'asra isar b'veit aviha bin u reha. But if a woman will take a vow to Hashem or prohibit a prohibition in her father's house in her youth.
okay. Now, as we was going to point out over here, right, doesn't mean she's necessarily in her father's house. She could be living alone, living somewhere else. Find the base of Hill means in her father's jurisdiction. She's under her father's jurisdiction. Let's see the Rashi here.
Okay. Baveit aviha, in her father's house. This means birshut aviha, while she is under her father's authority. Va'afilu eina baveito, and if she is not, even if she is not in his house.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so in her youth, bin u reha, in her youth. Velo katana, but not a minor.
Not when she's a minor. If she makes a neighbor she's a minor, it doesn't work. Below Bergeres.
Nor one who is mature.
Right. So it goes on to explain why.
Shahaktana ain nidra neder. For with regard to the minor, her vow is not a vow. In other words, it is not binding.
Right. Nothing.
Vaha bo geret eina birshuto shel aviha. And as for one who is mature, she is not under the authority of her father. Lahafer nadareha.
So he can annul her vows.
That he can nullify her vows.
Now, what do we mean by Bergeres? Bergeres means to go over and above the age of 12 and a half. Nara is a girl who reached the age of 12, right? Between 12 and 12 and a half. What's the idea? What's the significance? When she's 12, she already has the initial signs of puberty, which are hairs. She starts getting initial pubic hairs, and certain other changes in her body shape. Okay? When she's 12 and a half, then she really has a full change in her body shape, and she's considered a Bergeres. There's also other changes, other physical changes in her. Then she's called a Bergeres, and therefore she's now a fully fledged mature woman, and she's in her own reshus, right? And she's under her own jurisdiction, under her own authority. And we only say the father has no, so we've got an interesting situation. The father has authority over her, even though she is to a certain extent mature, meaning that from 12 years old she's really fully obliged to keep the mitzvahs, right? But she's still, for the first half year, and the Maisa Chazal Kaveh, it's not really a term of being a half a year. It happens to be half a year. But it's between the time of the initial stages of puberty till the process of puberty is completed, which takes about, the Gemara says that's generally half a year. So between the ages of 12, when the standard girl begins to be, gets the initial signs of puberty at the age of 12, till the age of 12 and a half, when the puberty development ends, she becomes fully mature. So between those, the din of a night.
So what's the difference? A cycle? She hadn't had a cycle yet?
It can also now. The cycle is not generally the Gemara says that her cycle will begin when she is the age of 12. Most times. But it's not dependent on that. Her cycle is not, sometimes girls can get their cycle even before, sometimes after. The main thing is the signs of puberty, which are basically, the Gemara says, is hairs, pubic hairs, and also change in the shape of her body.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. The Ezo, he, katana. And who is a minor with respect to vows?
Right?
Amru
Rabosenu.
Rabosenu. Thank you. Our rabbis have said, Bat achat asrei shana b'yom echad. A girl who is at least 11 years old in one day.
Yeah, by the way, it means 11 years in one day is what we call 11 years old. Meaning, what I mean is as follows. A girl, when it's in the terminology of Chazal, Bas Yud Aleph Shana can mean within the 11th year. When is she considered 11 years old? Means at the end of the 11th year, going into the 12th year. That's what Chazal term Yud Aleph Shana B'Yom Echad. In other words, let's say she was born on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So when she comes 11 years later, she comes to Rosh Chodesh Nisan. On that day of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, she is 11 years and a day because she's already on the first day of the 12th year. Okay?
Okay. Nadareha nivdakin. Her vows are examined.
Which means, carry on, in Yada,
If she realizes, l'shem mi nadra, for whose sake she is vowing.
means she knows what she's talking about, that's basically.
Okay. L'shem mi hikdisha, whose sake she is consecrating. For whose sake she is consecrating.
In a case where she consecrated, she sanctified something for Beis HaMikdash or for some other holy purpose. Then,
Nidra neder, her vow is a binding vow.
okay, so the point is, when she's in the 12th year, it means between the age of 11 and 12, then her vows are examined, which means you've got to know not all girls of that age will necessarily be of the level of intelligence that they know what they're talking about. So if we examine her and we see and she knows what she's talking about, and we know when she made this vow, she really meant it seriously, then her vow is valid. Okay? But Basyut Beis Shana V'Yom Echad, that when she's already in the carry on the Rashi.
Okay. Bat Shatem Esrei Shana V'Yom Echad. A girl who is 12 years old in one day, Eina Saricha Libadek, does not need to be examined.
Which means we can assume a girl has reached the age of 12 years old, we know she knows what she's talking about. So we don't even have to examine her. We don't have to check her out. We know we can assume she knows what she's talking about, and that if she made a vow, the vow is valid. Obviously, if we afterwards find out that we know she was not of sound mind when she made it, then her neighbor won't be considered a neighbor. The difference between the age of 11 and 12 is when she's age 11, there's no assumption that we know she's talking about. We've got to check her out to see if she knows what she's talking about. When she reaches the age of 12, then we can assume already she knows what she's talking about. Okay? Now, okay, by the way, this halacha boy between the age of 12 and 13 is also a similar situation. Boy of age 12 in his 13th year, between 12 and 13, similarly, we have to, if he makes a neder and we have to check him out and see if he knows what he's talking about. If he knows what he's talking about, then his neder is a valid neder. Once he reaches the age of 13, we don't even need to check it out. We can assume he knows what he's talking about, and his neder on the book.
What's the thing with the Rivka? Rivka was 3 years old when she got.
And so what neder did she make?
So she wanted to get married. When she got married, then or she
So one second. So L'chora, how did she get married?
I don't know if she got married. I think she made the escape. Maybe she got married. She was 12 years old.
So the Gemara learns out from Rivka that there was kiddushin already when Eliezer was a shliach of Yitzchak to make kiddushin with Rivka.
A 3-year-old girl.
Well, 1 second. And her father, Besuel, or afterwards, it's a very interesting point. The Chayra, Yitzchak's kiddushin to Rivka was not a raisa. probably because it was before Matan Torah anyway. The halacha is that a woman a girl under the age of 12, right, she cannot accept her own kedushin, because she's not the balas kinyan, right? She can't make kinyanim, she can't make acquisition. So what is it? Then her father, right? Her father accepts the kedushin for her, and he's the one who actually carries out the transaction for her. Whereas Mr. So-and-so comes to young girl's father. She says, I want to marry your daughter. She says, okay, fine, I agree to that. Then the husband, the future potential husband, gives over the money or the star, whatever he's Mekadesh, this girl, gives it over to the father, and thereby the girl becomes married, Mekudeshes, to this man. Okay, what happens if the father, she doesn't have a father? He died. So then, Midoraisa, there's no way this girl can get married. Midarbonon, the Rabbanon said to her, either her mother or her brother can accept the Kedushin for her, and then she can. But it's only Rabbanon. And therefore, I don't know if you come across this concept. There's a concept of miyun, which means such kind of girl, this girl who did not have a father, and her brother or mother accepted the Kedushin. They carried out the Kedushin process, Kedushin acquisition process on her behalf. And then, so you say she's only Mekudeshes midrabanon, not midoraisa. And she has an opportunity that before the age of 12, she can say to her husband, I know it's very nice, you treated me very nicely for the past 5-6 years or whatever we've been married, but I have a right now to refuse, and I say, no, I don't want to be married to you. She says she can cop out, in other words. She can cop out in the marriage. Or miyun, refusal, right? She can say, I don't want this husband. Okay? But that's an interesting point. I never thought that. That's in the Rivka, because it says, it says Basul died.
But it said in the Mefurash that I think that they made the scheme, but she didn't come to live with him until he was 12 or something like that.
No.
She left right away.
He asked, the Gemara learns out that, and that was traditionally, till I don't know when the minhag changed. There always used to be that there was a Kiddushin and then Nisun, which means the husband would come to the girl's house and he'd say, I want you, which means the husband would give a ring or some other money or whatever, and this would make the Kiddushin. Kiddushin means she is married to this man. She's not allowed to live with him yet till they have Nisuin, but she's forbidden to anybody else. She's this man's wife. Then what would they do? They'd wait up to a year, right, till she got ready her trousseau and everything else she prepared herself for the marriage. And then a year later, let's say, she would then go to where the husband lives, where they were going to live together, right? And they would make a chuppah, whatever, that was living, and that would be nisuin. And then she would, the nisuin makes it that they can live together, and they'll live together happily ever after as my husband and wife.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, that was conditional. Nowadays, for whatever reason, the minhag changed, and now we do both kiddushin and nisuin under the chuppah. That's why it's a minhag to read the ksuba. There's no halachic halachic strength to reading the ksuba. The ksuba is just merely a formality, right? Because she has a ksuba even if it's not read out, right? She has got to know what she's talking about, by the way. I know in particular, I think that my last daughter got married, so my son-in-law learns in Brisk, and in Brisk Rosh she was very particular that the woman knows exactly what we're talking about, right? So before, when they read the ksuba, he told my daughter, make sure you listen carefully and you know what exactly we're talking about, because this is a contract, right? The ksuba is a contract between a husband and wife, so the woman's got to know, the woman just as much as the man's got to know what he's talking about. Akoponim, the reading out of the ksuba apparently is nothing. It's just a mere formality, basically to make a difference between the kedushin and the nisui. So kedushin, how's the kedushin? Is, like we say, you make a bracha, a cup of wine, and the husband takes a ring, and he says, Hare at mekudeshes li, zu kadas Moshe Yisrael. That is kedushin.
And then he leaves.
But then he would leave for up to a year, right? And then they would have nisuin. So the girl would come to live to where the husband was, and that's where they would get married. And that was nisuin. Okay. Now, so what his interesting point is that if it was a proper kedushin, which Yitz and Rivka had, then the Chora Besua had died by the time they got married. They actually making a marriage contract, actually talking about marriage, because it said Eliezer came along.
Well, wasn't it Lavan?
Lavan, no, it was Lavan and Besua. There was two things. There was Lavan with Rachel and Leah, right? But before that, when Eliezer came to Besuel's house, right? Besuel and Lavan as well. Lavan was I don't know how old he was then, but he was the son of Besuel. And it says,
died in the meantime.
Right, he got poisoned with his own meal, right? Because they wanted to poison Eliezer, as the Medrash said, they wanted to poison Eliezer. So he served him a whole plate of food. He said, no, I'm not going to eat yet, I'm going to tell you all my story, what I came for. And whilst he was telling his story, the Malach came and switched the plates around, and the Surah ate from that plate, and there he was, slaughtered. Okay? So
Did that night get him to the healthy poison?
right. Okay.
What?
So anyway, so there comes out the Maisa. So Rivka didn't have a father. So even if Eliezer was the shliach of Yitzchak to do kiddushin, therefore Rivka, the Chayra couldn't. Her kiddushin to Yitzchak was only a draban. And those such a concept. I don't know what nafkamina would have. It's just an interesting point. Okay, guys, we have to stop here because it's already 1:20, and I again apologize that we're late. But, I don't know, finally a 3 bus came along after waiting 15 minutes. There were no buses whatsoever. Okay.
Amen.
How are you doing, Matt?
Baruch Hashem. So you think this is something you could keep with you?
No, I've got a better thing. I started doing Mishabur in the evening, so I invested in my own MP3.
Nice. Okay. So I'd like.
Yes, I don't mind. How does this work?
I'm still learning. So if you
Mine-
have one that's very simple.
I'm saying you got to stop it now.
Thank you.
How do you do that?
I think it's